I got 3 Titans in the game. Let's bring on Vince. Let's bring on George. Let's bring on Lazar. You guys see how I did that? That's pretty cool, huh? I'm getting fancy here. What's up, guys? How's it going? Vince, where are you at right now? Are you at the office?
No, I'm not at the office. Are you at the office?
We got Vince. We got Lazar. You're in Serbia right now?
Yep, I'm in Serbia.
And we got George. Or actually, there's no more co-hosts I have here. I got to figure out how to get this thing off of George's face here. Where is Brian when I need him? All right, I'll figure that out. But anyways, real brief, can you guys, while I try and figure out getting this so George is not completely covered up here, can you just give me a 30-second intro, tell us who you are, what you do? Let's start with our own Vince.
Sure, yeah. I am the product manager for our new PPC tool, Ads by Helium 10, which stands for Automated Data Solution. I've been here since September of last year and have been working to develop everything that sellers do manually in Seller Central that can take a lot of time and be a pain. That was my background. I did consulting for 2 years before that and dealt with small, medium, large clients, even an agency client. And so taking all that knowledge and putting it into our new PPC tool.
Awesome. Welcome, Vince. And again, as with other guests that we have had, Vince is a multi-time guest on our Serious Sellers podcast. So make sure to go check out his episode. George is going to be on the podcast, but hasn't been yet. Lazar has been. Lazar had a very popular podcast. He gave some great, amazing information. It was like, it won, like the month that he was in, it won the most popular podcast of the month. So Lazar, how's it going? Can you give us a introduction real brief? Tell us about yourself.
Hey, I'm Lazar. I'm the owner of Seller's Alley. It's Amazon PPC dedicated agency. I'm in PPC for around 10 years now, and in Amazon PPC for around 5. Our agency is up and running for around 1 year, and it's fully dedicated to help Amazon sellers on their PPC efforts.
Awesome. All right, and last but not least, we got George in the house. George, how's it going? You're still muted. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello. Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. How you doing, Brad?
Doing awesome. Doing just delightful.
No. Yes, I'm doing well. My name's George. We covered that. I have a company called Clear Ads, and I've been doing PPC since 2009. Started in Google Ads, went into Amazon Ads in 2015, 16-ish. My company's been going since 2011, and we primarily help Amazon sellers through Amazon sponsored ads and Amazon demand side platform advertising now.
Awesome. All right. I'm going to hop off in a little bit to take another bathroom break here, but I just wanted to talk about some things before we got into the questions, and then Vince could also ask some of his questions. But the very first thing that anybody doing PPC during this time is asking is kind of like about, hey, what do I do with my PPC during coronavirus? Number one, if my inventory is going down and Amazon is not allowing me to replenish more than 50 or 100, do I slow my PPC? Do I turn off my PPC? Who wants to take that question? Vince?
Go ahead, Vince.
Yeah,
and then Lazar. We'll do Vince first, then Lazar.
The one thing I wouldn't suggest is the last thing that you just suggested, which is to pause your campaign. So that's what a lot of people did at the end of March. A lot of brands were worried about running out of inventory or how the PPC would work with delayed times. You got to remember that PPC is all about history. Campaigns are all about history with Amazon. So the longer history you have, the legacy data you have, the better you're going to do with your algorithm. So do other things. Any other things besides pause, lower your top of search placement, your product placement. Maybe look at percentages of your campaigns and just drop everything by a certain percentage. We have a function in that in our ads tool that can do that for you. But Lazar, I'll let you add to that.
Yeah,
not Lazar, Major Laser. Major
Laser, I saw.
Yeah, well, I completely agree with Vince about everything that he said. And also I would like to add that it's a really great time to do a lot of optimization your PPC campaigns, because I definitely recommend not to pause anything when it comes to PPC. It's all about getting the most out of your budget, and like decrease budget a bit if you need to do it, and like try to get the most out of what you have. Also, since headline search ads have changed in a couple of months ago, they don't automatically pause when you're suspended or you're out of stock for some ASINs. Double check all of the campaigns if you're advertising just your logo without any products in there. So make sure that you're getting the most for your bucks, and that's it.
Okay. George, any advice for you, or what you're doing with your clients during the last couple of months that are kind of unprecedented?
Yeah, sure. I guess there's been two kind of two boats people have gone into. One is kind of they're running out of inventory, don't know what to do, and we've kind of slowed everything down. It's been a perfect time to add a whole load more negative keywords into campaigns. We've been able to kind of be quite ruthless and really cut bids and pause keywords that were kind of in the shaky grounds with a decent ACOS, but not really making a substantial profit. So we've paused stuff, but we had this week 2 accounts that stopped with us because they've just run out of stock, and they're not going to be able to kind of do anything for until Amazon opens it back up again. So this is issues that we keep coming across too.
Excellent. All right. Another question I had is, what about fulfilled by merchant? I get this question a lot. A lot of the times the people have completely switched to fulfilled by merchant this month because they can't replenish, or it's faster. Like they don't want that 30-day shipping time. Does your tactics differ at all if you're targeting your fulfilled by merchant SKU as opposed to FBA? Like, do you need to increase your bids because Amazon doesn't favor it as much? By the way, Vince, I feel kind of bad for you and I. Everything that Lazar and George say kind of sounds cooler because of their accents. But what can we do? What can we do? Vince, with your boring accent, can you let us know? Do you do anything differently if your campaign is kind of based on a fulfilled by merchant SKU?
Well, yeah, one thing you got to make sure you put them in your campains. So we have a lot of people that are forgetting. No, we seriously have a lot of people that only they already have FBM SKUs, for example, but maybe they created their campaigns originally and they just use their FBA because obviously that's Prime and it's going to get picked up. So if you already have FBM, or if you move to FBM, make sure you get those SKUs into those campaigns, PPC campaigns. So the one thing I will add to actually what Lazar said, if you're out of inventory, you can don't worry about sponsored products. Those will pause automatically. I see some questions in the feed about that. So your PPC campaigns won't run when you have sponsored product campaigns. They'll turn back on when your stock comes back. If you have sponsored brand campaigns, though, which are the headline search ads, you do need to watch those because Amazon considers that it's going to a store page. Your store page has all your products, right? So it keeps it on. But you do have to watch it to make sure that what's displaying, there's not, a couple. You saw that, Bradley, where there was a sponsor brand with just 2 products. That means that one actually went out, but it was still up there. Those you might consider pausing in the meantime, or maybe switching out the creative. You can now do updates to your sponsored brands directly in Seller Central. So you update that, whatever's missing, add a product.
Okay, good to know. My question for Lazar and George is, for your clients, is your strategy different when it's Amazon USA campaigns as opposed to Amazon Europe, or it's basically the same kind of principles? Or do you have like different thresholds and different percentages and different ACOS targets, or different ways that you even target in Europe as opposed to US? Let's start with Lazar first.
Oh, cool. Can I jump in for a second?
Sure.
Question. One of the things that I hear a lot from our clients is, should we create new campaigns for FBM products, or should we add them to FBA campaigns? What we strongly suggest is add your products to the current campaigns if you already have them, if it's the same product, because you have a history. And that's the important part. Regarding the question that you asked about Europe and US, obviously it's a huge difference in sizes of markets and the amount of competitors. And basically the price of CPC. So the strategy is definitely different. Keywords are different. What I strongly suggest is not just to translate the keywords and like use them, do completely new keyword research for PPC in European markets, and maybe restructure in a different way. So people usually try to like replicate your US account in UK, and I'm pretty sure George can tell you better about that than I can, that it's not the same thing to do it like completely in the same manner. And also like not all the markets in Europe are the same size. So basically German and UK market are way bigger, so you want to expand there and you want to try more stuff, so more like at the US market.
Okay, George.
Great. So we tend to react with the numbers and go where the numbers go. So a few weeks ago, we noticed that Italy and Spain in certain products just skyrocketed, and these are kind of webcams, microphones, and so on. And there was just such a spike in sales for those products. So we just took that as okay. It's working really well. The ACOS has dropped. Everything's out of budget. Let's scale and let's push harder. What we tend to find in the US is it's a lot more competitive and aggressive. So we've had to kind of take more of a bullish approach, whereas in the UK, it's just been kind of less as aggressive. But in terms of your question towards the being fulfilled by Amazon and being fulfilled by merchant, all of our accounts that are fulfilled by merchant, except one or two, have seen consistency throughout this whole ordeal. So they've seen decent sales. Some of them actually seen some incredible growth because their time of delivery times hasn't been disrupted in any way. And there's been a few sellers who got so kind of annoyed with what's going on with the delivery dates. They actually went merchant fulfilled, and they saw a really good increase in sales for about a week, 2 weeks through the merchant fulfilled, and then FBA it sorted itself out, and then it delayed. So with FBA, it's been like a seesaw, whereas with FBM, it's just been that incredible insurance policies. It's that backup, and when it's needed, it just kind of flies and takes over what you got of FBA. So I definitely would consider, I would recommend to anyone, if you can, put that in place, because it's going to be really good for you during this kind of time when Amazon's just going through growth pains. They're getting so many more orders. They're seeing so much more happening. So, and it's an exciting, fun time to be in this space, because what's going to happen is everything's going to settle down and things are going to grow and across everywhere. So that's what we're excited about. We've seen some crazy numbers, Brady, crazy stuff on Amazon recently.
All right. So I just wanted to ask you, George, what you said you saw some crazy things, right? What is the crazy things that you've seen over the past 6 weeks, like products that you thought wouldn't do well have done well, and vice versa?
So there's been like gardening products. They've gone crazy, and I was not expecting that. Obviously the toy industry, we've seen 300-400% growth throughout the month. I think one of the craziest things we've seen is a client that's doing a few million a month in overall sales. All of a sudden is doing a few million a week through sponsored ads. And they've had their kind of a really good kind of supply source, which hasn't really affected them. And it's quite close, or it's US based. So they've been able to kind of meet the demand. And they're one of the big players in the supplement space. So yeah, we've just seen that. And I think because we deal with Amazon DSP as well, and that's kind of it's a programmatic type of advertising on Amazon. The remarketing of that has accelerated everything. The conversion rates have gone crazy, and it's just gone just insane. So that's kind of what we've been seeing recently.
Cool. Lazar?
Yeah, definitely. For some sellers, definitely you can see a huge increase in sales, and that's pretty crazy, because I hear from everybody saying only negative stuff about PPC and like their overall sales, but we see, as George mentioned, a lot of people doing a lot of sales from for gardening and like in-house stuff, like doing yoga stuff or exercises. There's a whole bunch of people having problems with like outdoor activities like swimwear and that kind of stuff. They're having huge like troubles there. but some of the clients are literally selling really solid 7 figures a week, like, and they didn't do it in the past, and so everybody's like super excited about everything, and like we are putting so much effort on like double checking search term reports and everything, because all of a sudden you see a whole bunch of new search terms that are triggering keywords to show the ads, and you're like, it's really crazy.
Yeah, I heard auto campaigns are definitely something you want to be watching right now for that exact reason. Other campaigns might be doing well, but autos are definitely something. If you guys have auto campaigns, definitely be looking at your search term reports right now, because there's a lot of interesting traffic there right now that Amazon's funneling through that is different from pre-March.
Just hopping on really quick, but we got about 10 minutes left, so we're gonna start. I'm gonna start throwing up some questions in the background here, but if you can like total maybe 1 minute per question, max.
Sure.
We can you see
so
it? We can get to everybody.
I'll start. So the question is, what's a typical budget needed for a PPC campaign or new product? It really depends. It varies. It really depends on what the category is, how much competition there is for that particular product. You really have to do your research beforehand. The one thing that you have to keep in mind and remember that whatever number you come up with, probably double it, because in order to break into Amazon, you got to spend a lot up front. What you're doing essentially is you're buying your placement, you're buying your relevancy to Amazon. You know, you're saying, here's my new product, here I am, and they start driving keywords to you or search terms through your auto campaigns. You know, so it really depends, but you're going to spend more upfront so that you get that baseline of search terms and keywords that work for you, and then you can start reducing that spend over time.
Cool. Should
I go next? Think? Yeah, go for it.
Okay, great. So what we tend to see is at the end of the day, it comes down to traffic to that listing and how many sales it gets. So looking at your competitors in the space that you're about to get into, how much on average sales are they doing per day? What would it take for you with PPC to come anywhere close to that? If you really want to make an impression of Amazon, especially at the initial honeymoon period, because Amazon going to want to test to see what your products are about. You know, what would it do? How will it convert? Because they don't care about a product that's been around for a long time. If you come in at a better price, a better quality product, you will just sail. And it also depends. We've seen we had a client a few months ago. She came on. She just got on Amazon, and after a month, she was doing 20,000 in sales. Hardly anything. She just found an incredible product that no one was doing. In a month, she got 206 5-star reviews, and it was just more plain sailing. So that you get those kind of unicorn accounts where they kind of do well from the start, and you got others where we had another client who tried to break into the supplement space.
That's a hard one.
In the US, and he had everything in place, and we just never broke through. Never happened. Yeah.
Lazar?
Well, I'd like to say that from our experience, maybe 7 to 13% of overall revenue should be invested in PPC. It's like tacos or real acres, how somebody call it. But you have in mind that at the beginning, you need to invest more. It's like opening physical store, and like nobody knows about it, and you need to really invest in it and like spend some money into marketing, and after a couple of months you're going to get people coming and buying from you. And also PPC is not a magical tool, and it's not going to make you a millionaire if you're not doing it the right way, and you need to do a lot of other stuff as well. You need to drive a lot of traffic, do some ManyChat sequences, drive traffic through your newsletter list, like improve it from whole bunch of sites, and like steadily grow over day by day, and you're going to see huge improvements in PPC numbers and overall numbers as well. So it's basically a combination of a lot of stuff. What Amazon really doesn't like is if you like have huge budget and invest it all in one day and burn a lot of money in one day in PPC or like whatever, and you have a huge peak in sales during one day, and after that you have a drop, and that's something that Amazon really hates. So what they want to see is like constant growth in sales, like 1 sale today, 2 sales tomorrow, and so on and so on, growing each day. And that's the healthy growth, and PPC should be a part of it.
Absolutely. One final thing I just want to note is that, because there's more questions about budgeting and PPC, look at your Freedom Ticket modules, module 63 or 64. Kevin King does an entire module on, there's a calculator, there's a downloadable spreadsheet that you guys can use. Watch the video, it's a little complex, but you can actually plug in your numbers and see based on what your product costs, based on what your margin is, based on some other things. You can actually put in that calculator and you'll know basically how much you need to set aside in order to spend on PPC. So it's different for every person. There's no one size fits all answer to PPC budgeting for new campaigns.
All right, so let's we have about 8 questions left in 4 minutes. So let's try. Only one person can pick. Only one person picks which one they want to do, and we'll just keep going. So, did we answer this one already?
We did.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me give one more really quick here. Here we go.
I'll start on this one. You should do PPC immediately so that you can get the reviews. PPC is what people need to understand. PPC is now a cost of doing business. It's not something that you maybe should do. It's not something, I think, as Lazar said, is something that's going to necessarily make you money. Definitely not at the beginning. You need to use PPC in order to get ranked on the keywords that you're bidding on. If you get ranked on the keywords, you're going to get indexed for those keywords. If you get indexed for those keywords, you're going to maybe show up in organic placements. You know, so it grows. So if you're brand new, I personally do not suggest waiting for reviews to come in before you start spending on PPC.
Let's say you're spending $1,000 on the product inventory of a $20 product. How much PPC would you need?
I mean,
that's a good one for the calculator, but go ahead.
I mean, at the beginning, you want to put at least like 30% of the budget that you put in, or 40% into PPC. I would go more aggressive. I would want to put as much in as possible and watch the inventory as well. Is it selling really well? Is it not selling well? And if it's selling quite well, then add more budget. But I would put a few thousand into it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 1,000, 2,000 over a course of 2 months to just really push it and have some more cash in place. But it's going to depend on the type of product you're selling, what space is in. There's so many other factors going to impact that.
All right, let's have Lazar do this one. When launching a product running only automatic PPC, does this hurt my honeymoon period?
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll do this. So I guess it won't hurt it, but you have to watch it with auto campaigns. We tend to put them on a tight leash, ensure that the bids don't, you don't give the bids much space to move around and go out of control. If you want, start with close match as a targeting option, and then move from close match to slightly broader targeting options. But the auto campaigns are going to be awesome at giving you search terms that convert into sales, and that's nothing out there is going to give you that better information than that. This is how people engage with your product to make a sale. So having this information is crucial, and but just don't try and scale the auto too much. It could destroy your budget.
Exactly. There's Lazar.
Hey.
Excellent.
Yeah,
all right.
Sorry about that, guys.
No worries. I'm not sure I understand this, but maybe you guys. Murat says, is it better to support keywords that are used for product listing with PPC, or should we also target other words and products? Do I need to ask for clarification on that? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Is it better to support keywords that are used for product listing with PPC, or should we also target other words and products?
I think the question is more about, like, should we only target those keywords with PPC, or should we expand to other keywords and ASINs?
So what's your thoughts?
When it comes to that, I would definitely I would definitely use main 3 to 5 keywords for push campaigns, and apart from that, I would branch out the rest of keywords depending on the keyword type and match type to different campaigns. When it comes to ASIN targeting campaigns, definitely play around, target all of the ASINs that are the relevant ones, the ones that are on page number 1 for certain search terms. Also, when it comes to category targeting, I suggest doing that, but whatever you do, you need to refine it. So don't just target one category, try to refine it by the pricing, by the star review rating, or literally whatever. Play around. And also what you want to try to do at some point is also to do cross sales and cross-selling. Try to target some other categories apart from yours that are highly relevant to your products.
All right, last one for George, 15 seconds or less. What else is the Batra family missing? He says, let's itemize what we need. PPC, sponsored ads is kind of the same thing. Keywords, would you say sponsored brand if you have it, or product targeting ads?
Sponsored brands and ASIN targeted ads as well. So that's the two things I would recommend having in place.
And for sponsored brands, that does require brand registry. So just make sure you guys, if you guys aren't brand registered, make sure you do that, because you're going to get a whole other set of ads that you don't get until you're brand registered.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. There's tons more questions here, but since Vince talks too much, we didn't get. I'm just playing. I give you guys a hard time, but if you weren't giving such great answers, I would have hopped in and cut you off completely.
You went over in the last one. You went over in the last one. So we're just eating into the time that you took up.
So first of all, Lazar and George, or Lazar first, can you let everybody else know how they can contact you, your agency, or how they can reach out to you to go for more answers to the questions that they had?
Yeah, of course. It's office@sellersalley.com, or visit our website or Facebook page. Both of them, sellersalley.com.
Cool.
And George?
To access me, to contact me, just go to clearads.co.uk, or put George at the front of that and put an @ and then you'll get straight through to me.
All right. Thank you so much, Lazar and George. Guys, that's not the only PPC session we're having today. We're going to have one, I believe, around 6 to 7 p.m. tonight. Vince is going to be back with us. So thank you guys, George and Lazar and Vince, for being on here.